to you by Spydel Twist-O-Flex. The watch band so flexible you can even tie it in a knot. A new concept in watch band construction and design. Spydel Twist-O-Flex. And now let's all play What's My Line? And now, live from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
A lucky actor just back from Greece and just about to go to Paris. That's not nice. My favorite... Carposi, I think, Tony Randall.
Carposi. I should explain that Carposi is watermelon in Greek. You're my favorite Peponi. And now, just back from a radiantly successful summer playing the wonderful comedy Old Acquaintance, my old acquaintance, Arlene Francis. In the Greek flag.
And now, after masterminding the Cerf Tennis Club in Mount Kisco this afternoon, Bennett Cerf returns to us this evening, happily. Here he is, Bennett Cerf.
And there he comes, walking on air he comes, the Mr. America of panel moderators, John Charles Daly.
Nice way, Bennett, to announce that I won the bathing suit contest. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line. Tony Randall, nice to see you back on the panel, and needless to say, nice to have you back from Greece after what I'm sure has been a most interesting several weeks out in that far country. Very interesting country. We have some very interesting occupations so that you'll have a good welcome home, I think, you and all the rest of the panel. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before my friends on the panel a little bit later in the program, and we'll meet our first challenger. We're in for a rough evening. Bennett's already trying to make a pun on said the Spydel to the Flydel, so hang on. It'll be a long night. And now let's meet our first contestants. Will you enter and sign in, please? P.L. Rhodes, right, sir? And where are you from, Mr. Rhodes?
Manor.
Manor in New York, right out in Westchester County?
That's right.
Nice to have you with us. These are near neighbors, if not true neighbors. May I present our panel?
Good evening.
Would you join me over here, please, sir? You know how we keep score on What's My Line?
Quite.
Fine, then let's let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel. We can tell you that Mr. Rhodes is self-employed and deals in a service with which, however, there is a product very closely connected. The product is, I think, probably going to be most useful to you. With that information, let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Well, Mr. Rhodes, I guess we better find out something about the product first. Is it a product that we might have?
Oh, yes.
Is it a product that's found in the home?
Beg pardon?
Is it a product that is found in the home?
Once in a great while.
In a nice big house?
Well,
Arlene, Mr. Rhodes is being very generous. I'm going to, if I may, with his permission, give you a no answer, only because while I think that there is a remote possibility this could happen, it would be highly unlikely. So we'll give you a no on finding it in the home.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes, anyway.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Rhodes, is your product one that might be used by some non-profit making organization like a county or city?
yes, it could be.
Would it be used at any time in the construction of either houses or roads? Your
I'm
name
very
being
sorry
Mr.
I didn't hear that. I'm awfully sorry, but I didn't hear you.
Would your product at any time be used in construction of either houses, roads, highways, streets?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Mr. Rhodes, if I walk down the street carrying your product, would it be noticeable?
Yes, very.
Could I carry it in my 2 hands?
I rather doubt it.
No, I'm afraid you couldn't, Dorothy. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Randall.
Every time your product is mentioned, it seems to get laughter. Has it ever been alive, or is it alive?
It's not alive, but it has a personality.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Is your product anything anyone could get into?
Yes?
Could a full-size man get into it?
Yes?
Does it operate best when someone is in it?
Yes?
Does it have any moving parts?
Yes?
Does it go back and forth?
Yes?
Well, no, I don't think it goes up and down.
Yes, it does.
I just have to feel.
Yes, it does.
It goes up and down. Thank you for that. Would it ever be used for anything entertaining?
Yes?
Now, this is in the broadest sense, that you would use it in the broadest sense in terms of...
Would it ever be found on or near water?
Yes?
Would you wear something other than ordinary clothing if you were using this product?
Not necessarily.
No, the fact is that you could, but you wouldn't necessarily have to do so. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
You wouldn't have to use ordinary clothing?
No, you wouldn't have to use something other
Something
than
other
ordinary.
than ordinary. Thank you.
You might, but you wouldn't necessarily have to.
Thank you.
Mr. Rhodes, might your product be roughly described as some kind of a boat?
Yes.
Is it a boat that is used more for pleasure than for business purposes?
Yes?
Is it a boat that weekend commuters might use?
Not very well.
Well,
I would say yes, but I was thinking of something else, another service. Sorry.
Well, is this a boat that requires a crew to operate it rather than one that might be operated by the owner single-handed?
Yes and no to that.
it could require it, Bennett, but in other circumstances, it would not.
Is it some kind of a pleasure cruiser or yacht?
Yes.
Something like Chris Clare, outboard motors. I don't want to mention any names, but...
You don't have to mention any names.
But one will be delivered to you in the morning.
My address can be found on the cell phone. What?
Well, actually, Bennett, I'm going to put all the cards over because I think you did, in substance, get it. Mr. Rhodes is a yacht designer, but he is a most... He is a most extraordinary yacht designer. He designed the Weatherly, which will defend for the United States of America in the upcoming America's Cup races, which begin next Saturday. I would only add...
Did Mr. Rhodes design the original Weatherly or the reconstructed one? Hasn't it been rebuilt for this series
No, it
of
has
races?
not been rebuilt. We've made a number of improvements and refinements. We have eliminated all the weight we could. Beg pardon?
Have you done anything to the mizzen mast?
What was that again?
You can duck if you want to.
Well, we have done a lot to try to make her faster, and she is, I think, very much faster.
Let's hope it wins.
Thank you.
Well, she is already, as you all know, in the pre-race trials, the Nefertiti and the Columbia and the Easterner were beaten handily by Weatherly, which is why Weatherly represents us. And now she races the Australian Gretel beginning next Saturday. I think probably one of the things that you're particularly pleased about is I understand President Kennedy is planning to appear up on that shore so that he can watch at least the beginning of it.
Yes, he's there now, and he's out watching them in their trials. And I believe he's having a reception for the crews this evening.
Oh, isn't that great? That's fine. Well, sir, we congratulate you on your tremendous achievements and skills and wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
Now to meet our second contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Joanna Lee, right? Is it Miss or Mrs. Lee?
Miss Lee.
Miss Lee, where are you from?
Beverly Hills, California.
From Beverly Hills, California. Well, you've come a long way to see us. Thank you for doing so. May I present our panel? And now, would you join me over here, please, Miss Lee? Are you familiar with our scorekeeping system?
Yes.
All righty, fine. We'll let the audience at home and the audience in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right. Powell, Miss Lee is self-employed, deals in a service, and let's begin the general questioning with Tony Randall.
Your appearance and your native habitat suggest the entertainment world. Am I anywhere near right?
Perhaps you should define native habitat.
Beverly Hills.
Oh, yes. Well, yes, you might say that.
Are you a performer?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Is your work seasonal rather than daily?
No.
Let me have a small conference, if I may. Here.
Daily being a cue to John.
Yes.
All right, we'll let the no answer stand. That's 2 down and 8 to go. Because you used the word seasonal, what I really want to discuss with Miss Lee...
I used the wrong word, but you knew what I meant.
Yes, I knew what you meant. That's why it's 2 down and 8 to go. I know exactly what you meant. Mr. Cerf.
It's daily.
Miss Lee, may I clarify your first answer to Tony? Am I correct in that you said you were connected with entertainment, but were not an entertainer yourself?
That's right. Yes.
Do you supply something to people who are in the entertainment business?
Yes.
Is it something that would be visible when the performers appear on stage or in public or on the screen?
No.
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Miss Lee, if you turn out to be a babysitter, I'm going to walk right off this panel. However, do you perform a service that is in some sense physical for the performer?
You mean requiring some physical contact as between performer and Miss Lee?
Or giving them something which they put on their person?
Ah, fine. That clarification helps a lot. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Randall.
Is instruction or advice involved in your line?
Not directly, no.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you in any way a stunt performer yourself?
No.
That's 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Miss Lee, you said that the thing that you supplied was not visible when the performer used it, but is it on the person of the performer when he or she uses what you do?
No.
Not invisible or visible.
7 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
But, Miss Lee, your employment still relates to the world of entertainment. Is
Yes.
that true?
Yes, that's true.
But whatever you supply doesn't show when they use it, and they don't apply it to their
It's
person.
not visible
Well-
to the eye.
It's not visible to the eye. But they also don't apply it to their person, because I was thinking of several things that could be applied to the person.
It is also...
We can't
go into those
It is also been enlisted that while it is...
Contact lenses, I was thinking.
It has also been enlisted that while it is not visible, neither is it applied to the person.
Do you have any connection with actors in your work?
Yes.
Directors?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the processing of film?
No.
8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Randall.
Do you have anything to do with the making of the film itself?
Making...
I meant the shooting of a motion picture.
The actual process of the production.
Working on the sets.
Working on the... Thanks very much. That's
No.
9 down and 1 to go, Miss Francis.
You think what, dear?
Agent or agent.
There was no call for a conference,
I'm sorry.
please.
We're
Let's
just
call for
whispering.
one. Could we have one very fast
You
one?
may have 30 seconds for a conference.
Would it be if she
With an
sang
agent
for
or-
somebody or did
No, that would be a performance.
that would be a performance.
But an
Even
agent or
using her
legal.
voice in translation,
Still a
I
performer.
think so. She's
would
still
be
a
a
performer.
performance. John would
She has a
allow.
glint in her eye like an agent. Like Swifty was on.
What does he mean by that?
Well, all right. We'll have to find out if do you get any percent of any performer?
No.
That's 10 down and no more to go. And Miss Lee, this is going to be a big surprise for you. Miss Lee is a TV comedy writer. Right?
And you never got to write?
Written for Pete and Gladys, the Flintstones,
Oh yes,
and in
very
the
clever.
My Man Higgins and the Jetsons in this coming
Jetsons.
season. Two of the new programs that
I'm
we're
going
going
home
to
to
start.
start a new pilot for Cy Howard at Desilu tomorrow.
But I trust you will all agree that while this is not visible to the eye, nor is it applied to the person, even though it might be invisible, etc., and so forth. And Tony, we've got a special message of pleasure for you. I don't know whether you remember it or not, but you came east on the same plane with Miss Lee. Do you know that? That stopped him.
He's
Thank
going
you
to
very
cry.
much. Nice to have you with us, Miss Lee.
It's just not fair. Oh, my God.
We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends on the panel are all blindfolded, as you know. Are those blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, a different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise. And let's begin with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Have you anything to do with music?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Randall.
Is there more than one of you there?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
A lot of new shows are about to start on television. Are you part of any of them?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Did you have any connection whatever with the Miss America contest just concluded in Atlantic City?
Oh, no.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you a performer?
Yes.
Mr. Randall.
Have you recently been in Greece?
You're speaking of the country, of course.
Yes.
Was he asking?
5 down and 5
That
to
was
go.
a no?
That was a no. Yep. Miss Francis.
Are you a leading man in pictures?
No.
This fellow's out of work.
Well, I'm going to, with the permission of our guest, say that while this may be true because of his own choice in absolutely current terms, that the answer otherwise would be a resounding yes. Mr. Cerf.
Oh.
Did you by any chance play a role in the Guns of Navarone?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Boy, all these questions are so chic. Grease, the Guns of Navarone. I feel
Carpuzzi.
so dull, Carpuzzi, yes. He could be a leading man if he wanted. Was that what you were conveying?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever perform on stage, perchance?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Randall.
Tents, state fairs? Where do you work, fella? I can't. My word. Are you appearing on a broad... No, that was just... Well, TV was... Records. How about records?
No, not music.
8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, now, if you're not preparing a new series, are you in an old series?
Yes.
Oh, our first yes.
First, yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Is this a series that was predominantly a comic series.
No. $9 one to go to Kilgallen.
Oh,
I think Tony knows.
No,
so
I
I'll
just got a hot
ask
line.
a silly question. How many silly questions have we got left, John?
1.
I pass.
Mr. Randall?
Are you a terribly tall fellow?
That's all the time we have for silly questions. You may unmask and meet an old friend, Dick Powell.
Yes, Dorothy.
Powell is a crook when he says he has nothing to do with music.
Why, he introduced I'm Young and Healthy.
The first screen musical I ever saw, he was in, for heaven's sake.
42nd Street.
I don't care about now.
Oh, we all remember, Dick.
Yeah.
No.
We think of him as musical.
Actually, I might have on that question, as I did on the later one, say that in current terms it's not true, but in old terms. But then we gave you a lot of latitude, I felt, you know, as it was.
I gave us a lot of no's.
Of course, the remarkable thing about Dick Powell is he's not only been very dear to all of us as a splendid performer for many years, he's now proven himself to be one of the best businessmen in the United States of America.
Oh, please.
And we're proud of you.
Four-star production.
Four-star production.
Four-star, dear old television.
Yeah.
Well, I must...
You know that I'm just so pleased that Bennett, because I always thought that Bennett was sort of peaked at me, but this is the first time he missed me. You know, June rehearsed me these mornings for 3 hours. You know that.
It's your wife he used to peek at.
No, I think perhaps that we should explain that Mrs. Powell, June Allison, and Dick are very close friends of Phyllis and Bennett Cerf. And one of the great joys of what we've just accomplished is that Bennett won't sleep well tonight. I know it. It's going to hurt him, cut him right to the quick. But it's nice to see a new season start, Dick, if I may say so. And nice to know that the Dick Powell show is there Tuesday night at 9:30 on another network called NBC.
Thank you. New time this year, 9:30
p.m.
Yes.
But it's
and
there.
every year this time of year we get a little nervous, you know.
You do.
But we'll try again.
Tell me something. Now that you have immersed yourself so completely in management, do you get as much kick out of management as you do out of performing, or did out of performing, or?
Oh, I think I get more, really, but I have some wonderful people. I work for them, really. Our old chum, Tom McDermott, you may know him.
Yes, I know.
Does all the daily work, and I sort of work for him, you see. And it's getting more difficult every day, I might say.
Dick, what's the standing of the clubs now? Who's got more shows on the air, you or Goodson Todman?
Goodson Todman.
Well, Dick, we treasure the fact that you take some Sunday night time for us, and thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me again.
Good to have you with us. Well, panel, I think I must give you A for effort so far tonight. You tried very hard, and you did give us a lot of fun. Congratulations on that, and we'll all be back after this word from our alternate sponsor. Once again, panel, it's been a lot of fun tonight, and good night, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Good night, John. The word I was trying to think of was carpoozy, so that all the Greeks in the audience can laugh. Good night, carpoozy.
Did you tell them what it meant?
Watermelon.
No, watermelon.
Good night and Kalitihi.
Kalitihi? Should you? What does that mean?
Good luck.
Oh, thank you. And to you. Bonne chance. You're going to Paris.
Yeah.
And good night to you, dear Bennett, in plain English.
And, you know, we need more writers in the book publishing business that look like Jane Lee, don't we, John?
Yes, I think probably you've got a good idea, Bennett. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on What's My Line?
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Todman. Johnny Olson speaking.